Mr. Chairman, distinguished members of this esteemed committee, permit me to reiterate that Nema is operating under the most precarious and challenging situation. The agency at any point in time is inundated with reports on sudden onset disaster and emergency situation coupled with requests for immediate intervention. On a constant basis, Nema receives such requests from the state governments, the agency, zonal, territorial, operational offices, and from distinguished members of the National Assembly. Requests from distinguished members are quite often accompanied with parliamentary resolutions. Sadly, both the annual budgetary allocation to Nema, in addition to the ecological fund derivation put together, are too insufficient to meet up with the daily bargaining demands. The ecological fund derivation could not even meet up the running of Nema offices nationwide, including the running of maintenance of its mobile and fixed disaster response assets. Nema emergency responders operate in quite often risky and hazardous environment to save lives within the shortest possible survival window, are poorly equipped with necessary protective gear as expected, and perform their functions without requisite hazard allowances. It is a paradox that even as tiers of government at the state and local government levels also receive their monthly statutory derivation from the ecological fund, such funds are not channeled for disaster response, mitigation, and recovery. The end result is that the federal government, through Nema, is inundated with requests for emergency intervention, even for minor disaster events that are within the capacity of states and local government authorities. Mr. Chairman, distinguished members, the time has come for this esteemed committee to support Nema with adequate funding to enable it meet up its statutory mandate of supporting people impacted by disasters in the short, medium, and long term to enable them return back to normalcy and contribute to national development. This cannot be achieved under the current funding of Nema. The agency is far away from meeting up to its mandate of timely saving of lives and restoring the livelihood of the people in a safe and dignified manner. Thank you and God bless. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, too. This by the Chairman House Committee on Disaster Management and Preparedness, Honorable Basi. Yes, sir. So let me hear something from you before we also.
Stop at your agency to use it. As far as this constitution is concerned, it's an illegality. Therefore, you need to provide the legal cover so that we understand. We know the gamut of responsibility Nema has. We know the country we are in. We know the challenges, even in good times, when Nema is saddled with one thing or the other all across the country. At a given time, we know you have aircraft and so on and so forth. I don't know whether you have them now. But if these records, if this data is not made public, and then we now narrow down the argument on just budgetary allocation, I think we are not doing ourselves any good. We are not doing the committee any good. And therefore, there is nothing we can do but to keep quiet. Otherwise, can we write to the president that this is what Nema received on a year allocation? What if he provides us with other allocation, the ecological allocation? What if he provides us with domestic aid and international aid coming to Nema? My take, I'm very positive that your expectation as an agency is not met. I'm very positive because the performances of Nema before is not what we see today. And I'm sure this started about 2, 3, 4 years ago. Because we've all been in the National Assembly for a very long time. And therefore, if you don't come together with all the facts, I think that will be very, very little that the committee will be able to, with all full force of the law, ask the president or the minister of finance or the ecological fund to say, why are you sitting on Nema's fund? Because this is what they are provided. So I believe going forward, because these are all proposals, and you know we are going to take this proposal to the Committee on Appropriation. And before them, your figures will be sent to them, and they will look at it. And they controvert it. They will definitely controvert it because they have what you don't have, or what you think we don't have. They have it. And they'll gladly say, no, this is what goes into Nema. And therefore, give us everything, package it. So that when we'll go with the full strength of know-how, of knowledge, that this is what was given to Nema in 2023. And we need this, and we need more, we need it. It's Nigeria. The amount of money you have put, probably if you have put them together, may not actually address your issues, our issues as a nation. But you need to come together, and you need to carry all of us along in the clear knowledge of this what Nema receives. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, sir.
As I see you have personnel here, 2023 personnel, 1 billion plus. So it's important for Nigerians to know that this is your personnel, whether you have new recruitment or not, or whether this is the people that are working at. And as of personal interest to my own committee, are you aware of the Disability Act of 2018? So I would like you to actually answer that. Because if you are aware of that law, which is law of Nigeria, 5% of any recruitment that you do should be of persons with disability. That's the law of Nigeria. So those are my concerns, Mr.
Thank you, my chairman, distinguished senators, honorable colleagues. Honorable Comrade Bashir Usman Goro is my name, Deputy Chairman, House Committee on Disaster and Emergency Preparedness. DG, the truth of the matter is like you have come to the National Assembly naked. You didn't wear your clothes properly. What I mean by this, the detail that people are expecting from you were not here with us. But anyway, I can pardon you maybe it's because you are on transit that you are maybe not being able to properly package all the documents that people are expecting. However, my question here is that 2-3 years back, there was a program, Presidential Task Force on Food Security, and Nema single-handedly was chosen to be the agency that was granted with the authority to be giving relief to farmers that encounter flooding and other natural disaster. DG, how far the program? What are the releases of this present year, 2023? How are the utilization? Are still program ongoing, or you have been carved out of the program? That is the interest, particularly from my own side, because I want to know the status of that program on Presidential Task Force on Food Security. Thank you.
Senators, honorable members, the DG, my question is more around what we're seeing in this personnel cost and the capital expenditure. I think if we follow the trajectory based on what has been submitted, I would assume we will almost be doubling the capital expenditure by next year, right? And I see that the capital expenditure releases are not 100%. However, the personnel cost is 100%. Now, I wanted to ask more about the recruitment process and the type of individuals we're employing at Nema, right? Because they are the frontliners dealing with some of the most, let's say, delicate situations, you know. So are we employing the most capable hands, right, to be able to do this? And if we are doing so, I would assume that the numbers will be less, right? Because the quality of individuals you're getting is higher quality, right? So I'm just looking more around that and the personnel cost, because very soon it's going to be over-bloated, whereby we'll be paying more money to personnel than the work that is actually being done. So I think it's worth looking into.
Yes, Honorable. After the end.
When I was coming here and I found that we are going to have a Nema, I was excited. But just like the last two speakers have actually spoken, after the chairman on disaster mentioned, I'm worried. Because I've been in your mission, in your operation more than 3 times in Lagos. And I know how much you guys, I know the stress you go through when you're on operation. But when you're now coming here now before the whole world, and you are out there reporting yourself, that's exactly what you are doing. And I don't know the reason. It's very disturbing. I was involved, take for example, the issue of 25 story in Lagos. We were there together. I knew what you guys went through. But when you're now coming here now, and you're under reporting of it, it's disturbing. And that's what they just expressed. You are short-changing yourself. If you are not open. I don't know. Because I look at it, the whole of money you are reporting here is not enough for my local government, Alimosho. I know what you went through in terms of, and there's no week in the National Assembly, House of Rep. You hear flood, and they say, refer to Nema. Your sister agency is FEMA. Every day, you see motion referring to, yes. And look at what you are presenting to us. The
question goes to the DG. You have complained that in the envelope system given to you in 2024, that there is no input of the agency from your side. They just gave you whatever they want. The last thing you said, the budget proposal of 2024, I must reiterate, does not emanate with the input of the agency. When you saw that in, did you make any formal complaint? Any formal written to the letter or any communication to the budget office or the Minister of Finance or to the committees concerning that thing before coming here for the budget defense? This is my question.
Mr. Chairman and my distinguished colleagues, looking to your presentation, number 7, you have carved out just one line objective for yourself by saying the National Emergency Management Agency as a disaster coordinating outfit has been forced to delve into disaster management roles. So I do not have your, the law establishing your agency, or else I want to ask, what is the meaning of disaster emergency management coordination? You want to coordinate what? You just want to coordinate, what do you say here? Coordinate disaster. But you don't have the power. You were not supposed to manage disaster. And so, what role will you be playing as an agency if you are not to manage situations that arose from time to time? So you coordinate to call which people into the situation room, or to is it the army or the police or perhaps the fire service, that your role is just to take up the phone and then you call that there is an emergency elsewhere without asking or acting in some wise to manage also part of the problem. And again, in 11, you have also said, under the normal budget arrangement, unlike the envelope style currently placed on MDAs, flexibility within the disaster management budget is crucial, considering the unpredictable nature of emergencies. Investing in technology and infrastructure is a key aspect of disaster management budgeting. So I want to ask, I thought you would have only, since you have identified your role, you would have only presented the issues that align your function by presenting only issues of coordination. But instead, you do not do anything about the coordination. You have only gone to also present issues about management. So what are you trying to tell us? That is your role, so that we'll be able to maybe talk to whoever, as they have earmarked already, talk to whoever that it may concern to help your situation. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Yes,
Is on the staff strength. Can we have the number of the staff strength as of today for Nema? And then, Mr. Chairman, sir, this document we've been looking at and we've been studying has not been signed, actually. So that's just to note. Thank you.
DG, you have the floor to respond.
Recruitment, just like I mentioned, we have not carried out any recruitment since 2016. What we have in Nema, all these staffs are people that have been in Nema either from 2016 or those who have been in Nema before 2016. The staff strength is 697, approximately 700. So about, I think we mentioned about coordination. So, what NEMA receives as ecological, states and local government receives. There's an architecture for handling disaster, and disaster is like a government. It's structured like a federal government. No. It's structured. No, sir. It happens in a community, within a local government, within a state. The first responders are always local. The first responder is the local government and the state. When the capacity of the state is exceeded, that is when NEMA comes in. But the whole scenario has turned around now. The first responder is now NEMA. So in a day, we get 50-something resolution in both houses, some days up to 60-something. There was a day I called the director relief. Immediately I called him, he said he was counting, it was 20-something, but I called him, so he hasn't finished counting what has come in today. As we speak, we have, as of last 2 weeks, we had almost 500 resolutions from National Assembly alone. States and local governments who have their own ecological are not accounting for what they do. We are there and answering as much as possible. We give mostly support to National Assembly. Whenever a resolution comes, there was a time we even cleared everything. So whenever it comes, now we have gotten to a situation whereby we have to start selecting based on the scarce resources. The honorable member from Sokoto has just walked out. He's not here so that he can hear. There was a day, 3 communities within 3 local governments, people just went there and opened fire and killed people randomly. Our people are not well kitted. The day when the bomb explosion in Kaduna, I was communicating with our people. We don't even have bulletproof vests. But our people went there, they don't even have, because I was shouting and saying, how can people go to a site where bomb exploded and you're already there? If there's another bomb that will explode, how you don't have protective gear? We don't have those protective gear. There's a day our people were going to the same Sokoto to go and carry out an assessment. They missed a bullet, they were shot at. But thank God, nobody was shot, nobody died. In Borno State, a rocket launcher was used to kill a staff of Nema. A rocket launcher they blew him to pieces. We are frontliners. Borno, 2018. Oh, no. I'm just, yes, I'm just, no, sir. We're just, I'm just telling you the gravity of what are people. We don't have. Sorry? Thank you.
Tax or what have you. Forget about this, draw a line, give us this so that we can save the time of each other and make progress.
The budget proposal is what I presented earlier on. But I do.
I just want you to restrict yourself to 2023, 2024. The questions that are 2018, for instance, is even a wide don't issue. So let us restrict ourselves to the questions that are raised.
Yes, sir. There's a member that asked us about National Food Security Council of 2020 and some other questions. That was why I answered, that's why I answered those questions. But coming back to the budget proposal of 3 and budget performance 2023 and budget proposal for 2024, I would like to read it out again with your kind permission.
He's asking of challenges. What do you want to say?
Sir, the challenges Nema has are enormous. We are.
I've jotted down the various questions that were asked.
Yes, sir.
So you now go and answer this question seriatim.
That was what I was answering.
That
was what I was answering. Sir, I have noted all this observation, but we can come up with a request. Nema, in terms of equipment, we are so far behind in terms of equipment. Our budget is far overstretched. In terms of equipment, we lack so much on equipment. In terms of training, United Nations even pick up Nema staffs and take over. That's the kind of challenge we face. But in terms of equipment, our Nema staffs they have the capacity. Our Nema staffs are well trained and have the capacity to handle disaster in all ramifications for Nigeria. In terms of equipment, there are so many equipments we need, but we can come up with it. We will need like water purifiers. When disaster hits, the first thing people look for is water. When it floods, people lack water to drink, potable water to drink. There are so many things we will need, sir. But we can put, we're not requested to bring, if you give us the go ahead, we'll bring this tomorrow.
Certainly, we are not approving your budget. Certainly. Because I am not convinced with your submission, and I also agree with all the submissions of the 4 speakers. Now, one of the things is, what even annoyed me was when you said you are not asked to bring these documents. I have a letter dated 27 November to your office. And the documents we requested, copies of Act establishing the Commission, copies of working policy documents, copies of appropriated 2023 with breakdown comparison, table of content for recurrent expenditures of overhead, release was first, second, third, and fourth quarter 2023. Capital appropriation for the year under review. Release of first, second, third, and fourth quarter 2023. List of contracts awarded, names of contractors, total amount paid, assets and liabilities in bracket, level of performance. Then proposed capital project for the year 2024. Area the Commission requires legislative intervention and the total budget of the commission. Even if I stop at that, you don't need anybody to tell you that we require every release based on the content of this letter. When we served this letter, it was duly received and stamped in your office. Then we now said, since the budget was also laid that day, we don't want to belabor you. So we are now suspending your appearance before this committee for interactive session so that you can come to budget defense. And in the budget defense, you now tell us your budget performance, an overview of your budget performance in 2023 as per this letter. And then we are now also going to take your presentation on 2024. So if you now come here to tell us that the letter we wrote does not include documents, you know, you are making me to see as if the Senate doesn't know what it's doing, or the House of Representatives. And secondly, to make the matters worse, this presentation, this your presentation overview of Nema is unsigned, as rightly alluded to by Honorable Shagaya. And then the position of unsigned document in law is worthless. This is a worthless paper that was presented to us. Not even that. Now, another thing is this. Number of referrals that were made in both houses, Senate and House of Reps. I signed one personally, I signed that based on the referral of the Senate, based on a motion moved by distinguished Senator Fadi that was taking the minister. Nothing was heard about that, and it was about a communal clash in, what is it? Ifonyi Lobu in Osun Central. I signed the letter myself. Nothing was done to that community, and you see how the member was, the senator was furious. Keep that aside. Now, another thing is, we want to know, you did not state in any of these documents the amount of aids and grants you receive, either through domestic donations or international donations that you receive. None. Apart from this, we don't also hear from you on, you are also receiving support from the service-wide board. Nothing. You have not made mention of anything. So this brief, as far as we are concerned, is empty, and it's not meant for the distinguished National Assembly of the 10th Senate, 10th National Assembly. As such, I agree with my colleagues. Go back to the drawing board. We reschedule you for tomorrow, 12 noon. Put your house in order. Get us all the allocations that we are giving to you, either through ecological, through domestic, international, and what have you. Sign this document. Get us your challenges for us to now have it in the secretariat. It will be circulated to members for us to now interface. But if that is not done, honestly, I don't see this budget scaling, because these are shanty presentations. They are empty.
The House member is clear.
Yes, madam. All interactions with MDS on or before 12th of December. And by 13, our various committees will be appearing in appropriation committee to submit their report 13, 14, 15. And by 17 or so, we'll report progress to the chambers. By 19, we wrap up and pass it on 23. So if we are to strictly follow the timetable, we will be out of time anytime tomorrow evening. So I will now put the question. Is it the resolution of the House that we send back Nema to go and do the needful and report back? Yes. Those in support say aye. Aye. I those against say nay. The ayes have it. You are to go back, do the needful and report back tomorrow 12 noon. Yeah. Shagaya.